Got 5 minutes, Val. Do you have a little bio of Dion? Just introduce her as Dion Sims of Unity, president of Unity Unlimited. Let me see. That, yeah, that looks better. And then on June 19th this year, she'll be doing a walk, Miss Opal. You can ask her to tell you about it. 2.5-mile walk. It's annual. Have you printed from this computer before? No. Let me see. What did you know? Is this helpful? Hello. Just connecting the audio. We can see your papers.
Unless I bring the camera up a little bit.
Well, we don't have the room for that because of the deal. You'd have to come closer to the camera.
So I could just bring the camera there, legs up a little bit higher.
The legs up.
On the studio.
There's not enough extension for the.
No, just the legs. You can move this up taller.
The extension of the video.
Which video?
You would need to extend it.
From back here. You see what
I understand that this and this needs some work.
Not even if I pull it up and touch.
Go ahead.
Just even if it's just like.
Yeah, whatever you want.
So, just
It's about the same. Hi, ladies.
you can still see my pen.
That's fine. Can you hear us? We can't hear you yet.
Does my papers look bad? So if I put them on, what if I just put them on my lap then?
I think it's fine. They're fine.
Because it's just Mrs. Opal's bio.
Okay.
Then I'll just put the other ones on my lap.
You're fine. You can stack them to.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now. How are you doing? Valerie, Miss Opal's on.
Hi, Miss Opal.
I'm gonna need clinics. I'm okay.
Okay. Is Dion there?
No.
This is just what you highlight her walk she's doing this year. She does it every year.
I do look
Yeah, you look good.
Valerie, you look very pretty.
Thank you, Miss Opal. I can't see you from where I'm at. And thank you for doing this podcast for us.
Oh, I'm delighted.
Okay, so you ready to get started? Are we waiting on Dion, Miss Opal?
No, Dion's not a part of this.
Okay,
Oh, she isn't.
No.
okay.
Okay. So I don't have to mention Dion. I thought Dion was coming down.
So whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Does it matter if I make a blueprint at the beginning?
No, because we're going to, we'll be able to edit if we need to.
It's sticking out, so I need cards really stick to it. So Dion's not there. Dion's not there. I thought she was going to be on.
Do you want to put a sticky note behind the sticky note? Make it not.
Hello,
Call me Miss Opal.
hi.
Okay,
So,
so we are going to start in 1 minute.
okay.
Well, Ms. Opal, is there anything you want to talk about other than your walk?
Oh, I'd like to tell people about Juneteenth. What?
That's what we're going to do.
Okay. So,
Your petition.
okay. Yeah, I knocked something down. I knocked something down.
Oh. What if I put them in?
Thank you.
We still see them?
Yeah.
I mean, we can see them. Just go ahead and stack them up with you. You can still see it. Just put them in under each other and slide through as you need them. And don't read the whole bio, just give a little
That's what I'm going to do.
synopsis. Okay.
Right.
You
Ready?
ready? Welcome. Don't believe I have to get up.
No.
All right.
Welcome to the Don't Believe the Hype show. Today, you're only going to be talking with Valerie Kelso because our co-host Suzette is away on vacation. And today we have got a special guest, and the beauty about today is it's also my birthday, which I wanted to highlight a little bit. And I wanted to highlight the special guest who chose to be here today on my special day, which is her special day, and that is Mrs. Opal Lee.
Thank you, Valerie, and happy birthday.
Thank
I'm looking forward to mine when I'll be 95 in October. So I know it's special to you.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to give you a little short bio of Mrs. Opal and what this program is about this evening. Miss Opal Lee was born in October the 7th, 1926 in a town called Marshall, Texas. Her mother moved to Fort Worth when she was 10 years old. She attended Cooper Street Elementary School and graduated from historic I.M. Terrell High School in 1943 at the age of 16. She didn't go straight to college after graduating, which was a great disappointment to her mother, but did eventually get there after getting married, having 4 children, and getting divorced. She earned her bachelor's of art degree in 1953 from Wiley College, which is now called Wellesley University. She returned to Fort Worth to teach at Amanda McCoy Elementary School for 15 years. And she also did a night work at Lockheed Martin, which was formerly called Convair. So Mrs. Opal has done a lot of things in her life. She's got a master's degree in counseling and guidance from the North Texas University. She's been a school counselor for Fort Worth Independent School District when she retired in 1997. Mrs. Opal has done so much amazing things, and trust me, to have her on our show today, it's an awesome experience because of all what Mrs. Opal has achieved, and knowing that she is still a woman on a mission. So Mrs. Opal, I've never ever heard of Juneteenth until I stepped foot in America. And there's people all over the world wanting to know right now, even back in England, what is Juneteenth about? What made you decide that you wanted to do a Juneteenth?
Well, first, Valerie, I'm going to have to tell your listeners that I'm just a little old lady in tennis shoes getting in everybody else's business, and I'm having a really good time doing it, you know? I need to tell you that Juneteenth is a unifier. Juneteenth means freedom. I advocate that we celebrate from the 19th of June to the 4th of July because we weren't free on the 4th of July, 1776. But let me tell your listeners how Juneteenth came about. And on the 19th day of June in 1865, a General Gordon Granger with something like 7,000 colored troops, excuse me, made his way to Galveston.
Okay.
And there he read a General Order number 3 that declared all slaves were free. Now there were 250,000 slaves there because the plantation owners had brought them thinking that when the Civil War was over, they'd go back and get them. But that didn't occur. After he nailed that order to the door of what's now Reedy Chapel, African Methodist Episcopal Church. And when the people came on, when the slaves came in from their labor, and somebody read that general order to them that said they were free, they started celebrating.
Wow.
We've been celebrating ever since.
And that is awesome because, like I said, I never heard of Juneteenth until I came into this country. And it's awesome to know that someone is trying to make, you're trying to make it a public holiday. So what made you decide that you wanted to be the one that was going to make a change and make Juneteenth into a public holiday?
Well, at 89 years old, I began to fret a bit that I'd not made nearly as many contributions to my country as I should. And so I gathered my pastor, the church musician, a county commissioner, a school board member, and several other people. And we had a little ceremony.
Okay.
They sent me off walking from Fort Worth, Texas to Washington, D.C. That's 1,400 miles. But I don't want you to think I walked 1,400 miles. I was really willing to do it, but I only did a few hundred miles when my team said I wouldn't do it that way because somebody had promised us an RV, so I wouldn't have to go to the motels, the hotels. But they reneged. They decided what I was doing was too political. And so my team says I'd only walk where I was invited, and I'd only walk where they had Juneteenth celebrations.
Wow.
I was invited all over these United States. I mean, I was invited to Shreveport and Texarkana and Little Rock and Fort Smith and Denver, Colorado, Colorado Springs, St. Louis. I was invited to Madison, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I was invited to Atlanta and South Carolina, Virginia, all over the place. And so if I left September 2016, I actually got to Washington January 2017. We had asked President Obama to walk with us from the, Frederick Douglass House to the Capitol, but he was in Chicago. So that didn't happen. But I'll keep on walking.
That's
I'll keep
right.
on talking till Juneteenth's made a national holiday.
So another question which I wanted to ask you, because I'm surprised that Juneteenth is not a public holiday, considering that it's part of our history, and there's so many people all over the world now recognizing Juneteenth as a holiday, and seeing that there's so many people now supporting Black Lives Matter, you would think that they would want to support Juneteenth because it's a, you know what I mean, it's all supposed to be intertwined and interlinked. So what is your thoughts knowing that after all these years, I mean, you're 89, you started the walk, and now you're 94, and it still has not been made a public holiday. What would you want the people out there to understand? Why are you still pushing? Because most at 89, most people are at home in a rock, probably a rocking chair, sitting down, doing nothing, and yet you're still pushing to make this a public holiday. So what is, I'm not, is Dion on? I know Dion is beside you, and she's also your driving force. And so I'm asking two-part question because I'm leading Dion into this as well, because I would like to know a little bit about Dion, because Dion is your driving force, and I would like people to understand Dion's role in all what you do.
Okay. To tell you about Dion, she is my right, my left hand, and all those good things. And of course, she had something else to do. And so she left me to do this. She's my granddaughter, my oldest son's daughter.
Okay.
And she takes really good care of me. Now, to answer the other question, I decided that I was just not gonna sit and rock.
I already know that, Miss Opal, about you.
I'm just not gonna sit and wait for the Lord to come and get me. He's really gonna have to catch me. But there's so much that needs to be done. And though the enslaved, when they left, took their customs and things with them when they left Galveston, still enough people don't know about their enslavement. And so I figure it's my job to enlighten people. So I keep on walking, I keep on talking. We are actually going to make Juneteenth a national holiday.
That's right.
And what they can do is to go to opalswalktodc.com, and they can find a link where they can give us their signature. Now, we've already carried 1,500,000 signatures to Congress back in September. And we were so sure that maybe we were going to have Juneteenth a national holiday then. But because Senator Conyers and Senator Markey, I believe, had called for the vote, and only one person in the Senate decided. That one person had offered to have Juneteenth a national holiday instead of Columbus Day, and it didn't pass. So when it was his turn to vote for this bill, he didn't, and the bill died. I was hurt. But I was at the National Press Club this spring, and Senator Conyers and Markey in the Senate and Sheila Jackson Lee in the House of Representatives, both all authored bills to make Juneteenth a national holiday. So we are off and running again. And we're so sure that this time Juneteenth is going to become a national holiday.
You see, for me, I'm surprised that it isn't a national holiday once again, because you've got, like you say, you've got Columbus Day, you've got all the other holidays, you've got Cinco de Mayo, you've got a lot of different holidays over here. And we, as a nation of Black people, we're the only ones, to me, that haven't got a holiday of our own. And that's why I want you, Miss Opal, here today. Because don't you think, with all what's going on in the world, we need to have something of our own? You know what I mean? So it's not just about Juneteenth. It's about your foreparents. It's about your children's future. It's much more than just having a holiday. It's a remembrance of all the slaves that have gone, have died, those who are still in bondage right now. Because what is we as Black people have that we can actually call our own? So I would love for everybody to go out and support you. You know what I mean? I would love to see Juneteenth. My thing is, my mom's not here right now, and having somebody of your age live through COVID, live through so many wars, and not, I don't want to know that Juneteenth, you don't get to see your dream being fulfilled while you're here on earth. You understand what I'm saying? So I would love for everybody to go out and vote, because Mrs. Oakley is doing an amazing job. And I think the president, the whole lot of them should have already, to me personally, myself, they should have turned around and we should have had a Juneteenth. We should not be having someone of 95 still walking to make Juneteenth a national holiday. That's just my opinion. You know, I mean, coming from England, that's what I believe, because I know we just elected a Black mayor just recently back in England, and we've not had that since over 100 and I think 75 years. So come on, we need to step up and do better for our community. You know, I mean, is Miss Dion there?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
So, Miss Dion, I know I wanted to talk a little bit with you also, because you've done so much for Juneteenth, and you're the lady in the back that people see walking with Miss Opal. And I just wanted the viewers to know, how do you feel about walking with your gran? Is it, I'm not sure if I'm calling her right, I'm not sure if that's what you call a grandma, but how do you feel pushing your grandma to do this walk?
Well, I'll have to start back with when I first got involved. So I've always been in the background, you know, doing her graphic stuff for her books and things for Juneteenth. So I've always been around. But in 2014, she did Juneteenth in Cobb Park. And my dad, who never does anything, was actually supporting his mother for one. And I said, I'm gonna go support my dad. So, you know, we're all out there in Juneteenth, and she finished the 2.75 mile walk for a parade into the park, and then ran from the end of the parade to the stage to introduce and welcome everybody. And I said, I am such a bad granddaughter. I said, here she is, at the time 88. Here she is doing all of this by herself. I said, she's working too hard. She needs to come into the new millennium and use technology and social media. I said, so I committed myself to helping her not work so hard to do this, right? And so in 2015, I asked her if we could bring it under Unity Unlimited and let me help her, you know, do it, you know, thinking, hey, little young buck, we're just gonna put this on social media. It's gonna be easy. You know how much work it is to do anything, period. But for Juneteenth, it was just that much more because it was so important. It was the 150th anniversary. That was a signature year. And so so that's when I got involved and started helping her. Now, when she decided in 2016 that she wanted to do this walk, I was the first.
Are you there?
I am. Oh, well, her sound is
Might have lost Dion.
yeah, probably her sound went out. She'll probably come back.
Yes.
Okay.
But Miss Opal, have you got another walk that you'll be doing this year?
I thought you never asked. Yes, because we usually have parade and we haven't been able to, we'll have a walk caravan we did that last year, and I just assumed that maybe 10, 15 cars would follow my 2.5 mile walk. Do you know, Valerie, there were 300 cars, 300 cars that followed me. And I was delighted. And this year we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna leave Evans Avenue Plaza and go to the county courthouse. That's a 2.5 mile walk.
Wow.
And if we start at 10 o'clock, people in LA gonna start at 8, and
That's awesome.
in Atlanta, in Philadelphia, in New York, they're going to start at 11. And we'll all be doing it at the same time. And you'll be hearing some of what they are doing, and they'll be hearing some of what we're doing. It's simulcasting, I think they call it. It's gonna be fabulous. And people all over these United States, and perhaps in England and Canada, they will be able to see what we are doing over here to make Juneteenth a national holiday. I'm just delighted.
You know, listening to you talk, and I'm getting goosebumps all over my body, because it just, you know, I just want to see you succeed. I want to see the whole world come together. Just like how they did when George Floyd died, I would love for the whole world right now to be able to get some horns, pop your car horns at 11 o'clock, and just show Mrs. Opal Lee your support. That's what she's asking you for. She's asking you for your signatures. She's asking you for your support. It's not about Opal. It's about your four parents. It's about your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? This is a national holiday. Can you imagine the rejoicing that will be if we had our own national holiday all over the world? People, trust me, we will go so crazy. So I'm just excited to be part of your dream, your future. I'm glad that God brought me into Americas, that I know this is going to be a public holiday. And I'm just 10 years into this country, and I'm so excited for you, because I feel like it's my birthday. Yes, it is my birthday, but that's how much excitement I've got for you, and the love I've got for you in my heart is so full, because I just wish everybody else would stand up and just give you the props, because lots of people died last year, a lot of people lost their parents, and yet look at you at the age of 94, still walking, still trying to make a difference. And this is not going to be something that every life we're going to see all over the world. This is an exciting time, because Martin Luther King, he passed, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, right? All the other great leaders, but look at what we can achieve in our generation. So I really and truly thank you for doing this walk and try to make this a national holiday. And why I want it to be a national holiday is because it's my birthday month, and I just want to thank people are getting to. So has Dion come back on?
Oh,
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay, Ms. Dion, do you want to finish what you were saying to us earlier on? And I'm so sorry you got cut off, and I know Susan was so excited to have you here today, but I'm sorry she wasn't able to make it. So, but just let us know a little bit more about what you were saying before you was cut off.
Well, I just wanted to say that, you know, as her granddaughter, we look at everything that she does, and we take for granted, you know, as her family, that she's just going to always be the little engine that could. And so I just wanted to make sure that I did my part to try and protect her in her folly, because you can't stop her, right? She's going to do it. And so you try and make sure that everything that she does it to the best of her ability. And so I just try to amplify and magnify her message on all the channels that we can, so folks know. And it's not in vain, because her goals are for everybody. It's not personal. You know, she's not doing it for her fame or for glory or anything like that. She's doing it to help the nation heal, to unify, to come to an understanding and enlightenment that together we can do so much more than we can if we're apart. So, you know, I've just always tried to make sure that, you know, she's where she wants to be and protected, you know, in what she's doing. So
And I really thank you for doing that for you, Ms. Dion, because not many people would take that time out. And I know that you've also got your personal job, but yet every time I've seen you, you've always supported your grandmother. And even when not, even I'm going to put out a plug here, even when I've given her a foot massage or a back massage, you know what I mean? Just I'm going to do everything that I can, and I'm going to push this shout out as much as I can, because we want Juneteenth to be a national holiday, right? That's what we want. That's what we would love for it to be, a national holiday. We want to see Mrs. Opal at the White House with Biden shaking his hands and saying, we did it. Not just for her, like what you're saying, for the whole world, because like I said, this is going to England, and I want England to know about Juneteenth, because I wasn't brought up in that era, even back in England, of racism or anything like that. I didn't really experience a lot of
Let me give you something I've learned recently. May I?
Yes. Wait, yes, you can. It's your time to shine.
Let me tell you that recently, France has set another Statue of Liberty over. Now, the very first one they set was after the Civil War to thank and embrace the United States becoming a nation, a whole nation, and no longer having slaves. They sent the United States the Statue of Liberty. And if you notice in pictures, and if you see it in person, there are shackles that are broken at her left foot.
Wow.
Now they've sent another Statue of Liberty, an exact replica of the first one, but it's smaller. I think they call it Little Sister. But again, they are sending it at a time when the United States is accepting and admitting that all their citizens are free.
Wow.
And I'm delighted that that country has embraced these United States, and they are helping us to celebrate the fact that we are going to be one nation.
Amen. That's right.
I need to tell you, Valerie, that some 48 states have a Juneteenth, some kind of observance. Some states, including Texas, have made it a state holiday. Maybe 10, 15 states have made it a holiday.
Wow.
But the others have Juneteenth observances. And I want you to know that our Juneteenth is not just a festival, that we have components. There's the music, where the young people from different nationalities get together and they work a whole week on songs from all the different countries, and they give a concert at the end of the week. You need to know that 800 children from the public schools were given the 12 freedoms gained.
Wow.
That the enslaved didn't have. They were able to name themselves. They were able to keep their children, not have them sold away. They were able to learn to read and write. They were able to buy property, to dress like they wanted to be part of the governing bodies like the legislature. There were 12 of them that the children drew something about them, and 300 of them were juried. They were wonderful. They were all over Tarrant County College.
Wow, that's awesome.
Then,
Really awesome.
yes, indeed. I want people to understand that Juneteenth is not a Black thing, and it's not a Texas thing. It is freedom for all of us, because as long as we have the disparities that we have, we are not free. As long as people are homeless and we're not doing enough about it to eradicate it, we're not free. As long as there's joblessness, and if I'm working the same job you are, but I get paid less, we've got to adjust that kind of thing.
That's right.
As long as the health system will look after me and not do enough for you, we've got to keep working. These disparities need to be eradicated. And I don't know what to tell you about climate change. Our scientists have told us that we are wrecking our earth, and we can do better than what we are doing. And I want everybody to know that if we don't do something about climate change, in my opinion, we're going to annihilate ourselves. So there's much to be done, and we can do it together, not as Black people, white people, Asians. We must work together. I think about the Underground Railroad and how those people worked in sync. The Quakers, John Brown, Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, those people worked to get people free.
That's right.
And you need to know that there was a Southern Underground Railroad that went from Texas to Mexico, because Mexico didn't have slavery for years. They had abolished it before the United States did. So
Okay.
I might be talking too much, but I got to get my story out.
That's fine. That's okay, Miss Opal. I'm going to ask you one question. What does "don't believe the hype" mean to you?
What does what?
Don't believe the hype to you.
It means to me that people should actually listen and realize that there are folk who are going to tell you things that are not true. And you need to be able to discern what's true and what's fiction. You need to be sharp enough to know when people are not telling you the truth. So don't believe the hype, because there's a lot of hype out there.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
So,
Go on.
so Valerie, just to supplement what Ms. Opal was saying, right now, the states that actually declared it a state holiday, where they actually are going to pay people. All right, remember, Texas in 1980 made it a state holiday, and we were the lone one for a long, long time. All right, but just since last year, Massachusetts has made it a state holiday. New Jersey has made it an official state holiday. New York, Oregon was, I think, the latest one. Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Washington. Now, 48 states have it as a day of observance, and we have to watch the semantics and the nomenclature, because having a day of observance means that they recognize that it's important enough to honor in their state. But when you say holiday, which means somebody's going to get paid, there's only 10 now. But that's up. All right, that's up, because before it was just Texas, and actually Texas made it a state holiday, but left it up to companies whether they would, and municipalities whether they would make it paid or not, right? So now there are states that have come on and said that they are definitely paying government workers, and now corporations. You saw all those corporations that did it last year, and many more have come on board this year to give people paid time off for Juneteenth. So it's growing, and when you start putting your money where your mouth is, then you know it's taking root in somebody's heart.
That's right. And Miss Dion, while you're on, can I ask you, what does "Don't Believe the Hype" mean to you?
Oh,
Well, I think that don't believe the hype really means that you've got to know for yourself. Okay, it's just like don't believe the big lie. All right, too many people fell into the big lie because they didn't know the truth for themselves. They got into the emotion of it. It's not about emotion, it's about truth. And that's the neat thing about what we're saying about in Juneteenth. Juneteenth is just simply telling the truth about our history. Don't whitewash it. Don't sweep it under the rug. Don't try and act like it didn't happen. Don't bury your head. It happened. Deal with it, but acknowledge it and go forward. So don't believe the hype to me is about knowing truth and then supporting what's true. All right, not the emotion and all of that, just the truth.
Thank you very much, Dion and Miss Opal, for coming on to our Don't Believe the Hype show. Don't Believe the Hype show is also sponsors the Purple Light Touch Foundation organization. And we would love to have you back on our show at a later date, especially when you can come on and tell us that, yes, it is now a public holiday. And I would thank to all our viewers who have tuned in tonight to listen to our show. Susan will be back hopefully next week when she gets back off from her vacation. But I know she wanted to be here so desperately, but she's in another state. So I just want to tell you all, thank you very much for tuning in once again to our Don't Believe the Hype show. And just tune in next week, and I wish you all a wonderful and blessed week.
thank you, Valerie, for having us. And
You're
tell the young people I wrote a book called Juneteenth for Children. And they
Okay.
can get it at Amazon anytime they want. Thank you again, Valerie, for having.
And we will put your book up. So if anybody wants to buy the book, we will have it shown on the podcast, so somebody can look at your book and buy your book. Or if I had realized you wrote a book, I would have mentioned it earlier on. But it's okay, Miss Opal. We will be having you back on the show. And
Thank you. Thank you.
Dion.